What's going on, guys? This is your boy Ark. Welcome to the first video of Rich in Style. So I had made a whole bunch of serious videos in the past, but the introduction doesn't work for those videos anymore, so I'm gonna, I guess, do new introductions. Anyways, we're gonna do a little walk around of the car first, and then I'll show you guys how to remove the wrap. Let's get to it. And we're gonna walk around through it and see what I've done to the car. Let me get Lenny to hold the camera real quick. I like to call this the FRS starter pack. It's not just a starter pack, but it goes a little bit beyond that. We're starting here with the headlights. I got the Spectre headlights. I mean, I knew just the stock headlights, they just don't do it for me, you know what I mean? This one, it definitely gives a much more, like a more mean look, in a sense. So from the headlights, we jump onto the rims. Got 18-inch Koenig rims. I mean, they're pretty affordable. So now, I want to go into this. Let me focus right here. So when I say the starter pack, to me, a starter pack is in a sense of mods that are from like the range of like 500 bucks to like 1,000 bucks. So it's kind of like an entry mod in a sense. So that's kind of like what this car has. So pretty much the wheels, satin black, 18-inch Koenigs, and then I do have a suspension. It's just Apex, but it's a red suspension. We have that on. I mean, as you guys can see, we obviously have a wrap. It's pretty faded at the moment because this wrap, it was supposed to only be for the outside for like 6 months, but to keep it more than 6 months, you have to apply a protective layer on top of that. I didn't want to apply the protective layer because I knew I was going to change it quick right away, so I didn't want to spend the extra money. In the back, we have the Valenti sequential taillights. Everybody, you guys have seen the stock taillights for this car, and they're hideous. I cannot live with those taillights, so we had to swap those out immediately. As well, I think this is the final thing. Yeah, it should be like the final thing. I did put a Spec V exhaust for this car. On that range, like I told you, that range from like the 500 to like the 1,000 entry level, you could say. I picked this one because it was probably like on the lower end of the price, but to me the sound was way better than the other ones. The other ones, they sounded too kind of like deep and rumbly, and this one is pretty like, it's pretty like in that mid range. It's not too deep, but it's not like too light, you know what I mean? So this is what I'm working with, and the first thing that I think that we're gonna do for this car is we're gonna be unwrapping this baby. That's right. We're gonna unwrap this car. I mean, like I told you guys, it was only meant to be 6 months, like really temporary. So if you see this car, I mean, it has a really cool livery. We have a new one designed, and we're gonna start pretty much wrapping the car, and that's gonna be our task for today. So let's get to it.
Alright guys, we're gonna get personal here with this voiceover. Yeah, it's me and you. Just me and you. Alright, I'll stop. Alright guys, removing a vehicle wrap can be the easiest task ever, or it could just be your worst nightmare. A lot has to do with the time the wrap was initially installed. If it was installed more than 3 years ago, then it might be more difficult to remove, you know what I'm saying? Because of the fact that it's going to cause the adhesive to stay on the vehicle instead of coming off when you pull the wrap. It's most likely going to stay back, but it's usually recommended to remove the wraps like at the 3-year mark or even before. Here's an example of an old wrap that is super cracked and baked on the vehicle. I mean, definitely this is not 3 years, this is more than 5 years, I'd say. And honestly, you should never let a vehicle wrap get to this point. It's gonna be a nightmare to take it off, and it's gonna be very time consuming to remove. And if you were to take it to a wrap shop, to get it removed, they might charge you an arm and a leg because it's super labor intensive task. I've had a couple customers bring me their vehicles with the vinyl all cracked and baked on the vehicle. And trust me when I say this, man, it's hell, dude. Like, it's like if the devil himself told his people, hey, go take this car to ARC real quick and just to torture me, you know what I'm saying? It's just one of those tasks that you really don't look forward to complete. I wanted to talk to you guys about one of the easiest ways to remove the wrap. Well, I would say more cost effective because it's not gonna cost you a penny. It's to leave the car outside in the sun. It has to be a warm day or a hot day. So you put your car outside for like 15-25 minutes and the sun is gonna warm up the vinyl. So once the vinyl it's pretty warm, like you can even touch the car and then feel that it's warm, you know, then you can start putting off the vinyl away. You can start pulling it off. And it's the most affordable way because you're not spending a penny or like nothing. You're not spending money on anything. It's just gonna be your hands, the sun, and your car, and then you're gonna be able to remove the wrap. There's also the hair dryer method. If you don't have a hair dryer, you know, you can always borrow one from your mom, your sister, your girlfriend, your neighbor, or whoever is willing to lend you one. Or you can just always buy one on Walmart or Amazon or something. You know, they're pretty low. The cheapest one is probably like around $13 or so. This is probably going to be one of the most affordable ways to remove a wrap. But, you know, it's doable. It's definitely doable and it's really cheap. So you might want to grab that if you don't have any other options. And then we have the heat gun method, which is my most favorite one. You wanna know why? Because this little tool, this little gun, provides a lot of heat, man. It provides way more heat than the blow dryer, and it just makes your job of removing the vinyl just so much easier that you could just heat it up and then pull, and that's it. It just makes it quick. Like, let's heat it up and let's go. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be careful though. You cannot just overheat too much on a certain spot. You know, you got to keep moving the gun back and forth because you run into the risk of burning through the vinyl and then actually like damaging the paint. But that it does take a long time if you just leave it there a long time, you know what I mean? But you always have to be careful what you're doing and just always look and see how the vinyl is reacting and everything. And when you're pulling away, just make sure you don't burn or damage the paint underneath. So there you go, guys. Pretty much the secret to removing wraps is heat. Any type of heat, man. So that's the biggest secret. That's what you're gonna use the most when you're removing a vehicle wrap. But you also gotta be careful though. I'm pretty sure you guys have seen online or maybe some pictures, or you may even been a victim of this, but you guys have seen when there's some wraps that you pull off and the paint comes off with it. You guys have seen that, right? Or sadly you're probably a victim, but there's a reason for that, and the reason is because the paint job that it has is not a good paint job. Or if it was resprayed or repainted, whoever repainted it didn't do a good job. I've had so many customers bring me this kind of cars, that they buy used from dealers, or they don't know that the car was resprayed. And sometimes I've had to remove some wraps that I didn't apply, and I have no idea what's going on underneath that wrap. So in those cases, guys, you always gotta have them sign a waiver that you're not responsible for whatever happens. That's if the car was repainted, or if the wrap that it was installed, if you didn't install that wrap and you're just removing it, you know what I mean? Because at that point you're not going to have any knowledge of what the car has been through. So you always gotta cover yourself. Alright guys, these were the 3 most easier and affordable ways to unwrap a vehicle. You can always start small by unwrapping the mirrors first, and then working your way like into the fender, and then going onto like the door, you know. But you got this. You got this, man. Come on, let's go. I believe in you. Let's go. You got it. Unwrap that car. Alright guys, if you made it all the way to the end of the video, thank you so much for watching. If you want to follow the build, just smash that subscribe button and I'll see you on the next one.